Hello there, welcome to another video on the channel with me, Womble Leader, on World of Tanks console. And in this video, we're going to take a look at 3 battles where I'm going to try and pass you on some tips and tricks that I use to maintain a pretty decent win rate in this game, and hopefully help you to improve your win rate if you take some of the advice here or gather some knowledge from what I'm going to try and share to you here. So yeah, I would describe myself as a fairly useful player in this game, a useful player to a team. I'm certainly no unicorn, but yeah, in Xbox I've got 12,000 battles with a 57% win rate, and on PlayStation 5 I have about 300 battles with a 60% win rate, and in both of them I have an over 40% survival rate. And I'm a fairly cautious player, I'm not uber aggressive, but it seems to work, and hopefully I'm going to try and demonstrate that caution sometimes can be useful in this game, because just charging on headlong usually does lead to a quick death. So we're in Great Wall here, we're in the KV5, and normally what happens on this map is that each team will invest about 7, 8, 9 tanks onto the flank here. There'll be a couple of battles where the yellow circles are. Eventually one team will win one of those battles, and then they'll come down and flank the other battle, and one team will end up surrounded. So I immediately noticed as this battle started that most of our team had actually went to the other flank, and we'd only invested 4 tanks here and an artillery, and normally I would expect at least 7 or 8 of the enemy team to be making their way to the corner or onto the hill. So I tried to encourage my team. I decided I'm not going to go with the conventional strategy of just driving down to the corner, because there's only 4 of us here and we're almost certainly going to get overwhelmed and very quickly surrounded and all die pretty quickly. So I just decided, you know what, I'm just going to stop here, try and encourage my team to stop as well, because we can still put shots into enemy tanks that come down into this corner. Now the KV5 doesn't have any gun depression, so that corner's not really a very good position for it anyway, but from here we can still put shots into the enemy tanks, we can hold them up. So I'm expecting a lot of enemy tanks to come to this corner here, and we're probably going to lose the flank, but at the very best, or the very least, we can hold them up as best as possible. One of the things I always try to kind of encourage people to do is keep your gun in the game. If you have still got a gun in the game, you are still useful to your team. Even if you're not a great player, you're not doing a lot of damage, the very presence of your tank will make other tanks and other players think about pushing too early in the battle. So, you know, don't rush in headlong all the time. Sometimes it is the way to go, but if you kind of read the situation like we have here, I very quickly realised if we go down into that corner, we're going to get overwhelmed and we're going to get surrounded. Now, a couple of our teammates have kind of went into that position, but because we're in this position here and we've got another heavy tank and we've also got the artillery, we're able to provide support to them. There's a hammer being taken out, we've taken out another medium, and actually the enemy team did invest 8 tanks on this flank up against the 4 of us, but all 4 of us are still alive, and they have now very quickly starting to lose. I think they've lost 3 tanks on this flank already. Most of our team's on the other flank, so they're overwhelming the enemy team in that one. We're going to move in now that we've removed 4 of the enemy tanks. We now know we're in a kind of at least an equal battle in terms of number of tanks on this flank, so we now can start to move forward. Our teammates have done a fantastic job in this one as well, and we've still got most of our hit points. We do take a huge hit from the new super OP double barreled 703 heavy tank, which is unfortunate. It seems to have insane armour as well as incredible accuracy even when it's firing both its shells at the same time. But we've managed to do it. We've not had a spectacular game here, not by any means whatsoever. We're going to get one last shot into the T32. That first one bounced. We get another shot into its lower plate before we eventually get double tapped by the 703 again and die. I don't like to die, obviously. I do like to survive the battles, but you know, this one was over. They've only got 3 tanks left. Our team has absolutely crushed the enemy, and I'm not going to say that we were the deciding factor in this one, but I think just the fact that we never bum rushed into that position, because we'd have been very quickly surrounded, we at least held our flank and did, you know, probably punched above our weight, given there was only 4 of our team on this flank and we were up against 8 of the enemy team. But it turns out to be a very decisive victory for our team, and again, as I said, had we just rushed headlong into that normal kind of heavy tank position, we'd probably have died very, very quickly indeed. So moving on to the second battle, we're on Heilbronn. We're in the German tier 7 medium tank, the Panther. Now we are top tier in this one, so the battle's underway. So what we're going to do in this one is we're going to be a little bit more aggressive, because another good tip, and it comes with knowledge to be perfectly honest with you, but another good tip is if you can get forward nice and early, put some pressure on the enemy team, but also get into a position where you can at least be, well, 80% sure you're going to be fairly safe as well, then that is a good way to start the battle. So we're going to get forward very quickly indeed, and there's a position up here on this map where you can tend to get some good spots, find out what the enemy team is doing, but also remain fairly safe from the majority of their guns. So we've managed to get ourselves into the middle of the map here. Now we're going to poke this corner just to see if anything is coming round here. Unusual to not see anything at that point. First tank we're going to spot is a T-43, or not spot it ourselves, but first tank we're going to see on the map is this little T-43. Well, I say little T-43, it's a tier 7 medium, the same as us. We're going to bounce a shot off. Must have hit the upper glacis there. We do get a shot into their engine, which is nice. Then we're going to juke back into cover, and you can see I'm still trying to see what's coming down this other part of the map. I'm still convinced there must still be some enemy tanks here. So we're going to get another shot into the T-43, tracking shot, get some tracking damage. That one bounces there. We take a hit from the T-43. I think it's got 180 damage, the T-43. We're only doing, I think, 135 or 150. We've not got the top gun on the Panther in this battle here. So we're having a little bit of a duel with the T-43. But we can't really trade that effectively, because if they hit us, they do 180 damage. If we hit them, we only do 150 damage. He has got himself into a reasonable position as well. He's kind of hull down. Not an easy shot at all. We can go through the turret of the T-43 with our standard round, but it's not an easy shot, and we're kind of winning that duel, but I'm kind of still concerned about what is coming around this corner. I'm still thinking there must be something coming around this corner here. I'm going to poke a little bit further now, and so I'm just kind of building up knowledge of what's going on in this battle, because at this point, to not be spotted is a bit unusual in this map, and it's making me think, okay, I can maybe do something with this, so I'm still a little bit apprehensive. I've had a good look now, I've still not been spotted. I'm thinking, okay, maybe there's nothing there, maybe we can start to think about making a flanking play. Now we are winning this battle, we've taken out 3 of the enemy tanks. We're going to have another wee pop at the T-43, get another shot on him. He's still in the same position, and he's going to move back into his hull down position there. So we have, in terms of that duel with the T-43, we have kind of got the better of them, but I'm going to take another wee poke here, are we? And we'll get another shot into the T-43 there. He's going to move back into that position. We bounce off his turret this time. We're going to get another shot. We bounce off his turret again. I'm going, okay, right, he's in a good position there. There's still nothing that appears to have come round this other flank. This battle, to be fair, is now nearly over, but we've not really done a whole lot of damage. Let's try and go for it. Let's go and see if we can spot the rest of the enemy team, spot the artillery, and get some late damage in on the game. Now we do get spotted. There is going to be a tank destroyer up on the hull there. I knew there was going to be, but I thought, you know what, let's go and finish off this T-43. Let's get up over the hill. He's going to still be in the same position. He's done a good job, to be fair, this T-43, but it's now time to end his battle. So we go for the ram here, and then we realise, we've made a mess of that, because the Panther, it goes forward fairly quickly, but it doesn't turn particularly well. And we finally finish off our T-43 opponent that we've been dueling for the duration of the game. But yeah, again, we never really, the team, again, we never really did that much to contribute to win. We contributed to winning this battle, but we certainly weren't the deciding factor. But, we got into that position nice and early. We tied down that T-43. We kind of were able to keep an eye on the other flank as well. And we're going to finish off the Tiger for kill number 2. So it's just an artillery and a tank destroyer that is left. But yeah, what we kind of did in this one, as I said, again, the team was a good team as well. But we got into the middle of the map nice and quickly. We found ourselves a safe position, and we helped to control the middle of the map. We were able to keep an eye on the other flank as well, and then once we realised that flank was unprotected, we were able to take advantage of that and then flank our T-43 opponent, who we've been dueling with for most of the game. We're going to get a ram kill on the artillery, which is always nice for kill number 3. Took our tracks off, unfortunately. Just a little tank destroyer left. Little French tier 5 tank destroyer, I think. We're going to get a shot in there, and we're going to have the reload, and we get kill number... what's that? Kill number 3? Kill number 4? Kill number 4. And we take a look at the post-game victory parade. We are in P1 with 1700 damage again. Certainly not a spectacular game, but pretty decent overall. So Prokhorovka here for the third battle. We're in the KV5 again now. Prokhorovka, one of those battles, particularly when it's got artillery, that can be artillery dominated. So there's the artillery taking the first shot at us. Done about 250 damage to us, which is always lovely. I think they killed our driver as well, can't quite remember. The other artillery is taking a shot at us. So we're nearly 2 minutes into the battle. So Prokhorovka is one of these battles that can be very prolonged, and artillery is incredibly dangerous, particularly if you're in a heavy tank. We've not got any gun depression either in the KV5, so it's not a good situation for us. But what we can do to contribute to this one is, and I'm not sure this is a tactic I would thoroughly recommend, but we are top tier, we do have a bit of armour. I decide, you know what, screw it, I am just going to use my hit points and I am going to charge forward. The artillery is focusing me. If I just stay in that same position, the artillery is just going to focus me for the rest of the battle. I decide, you know what, screw it, I'm going forward here, I'm going to spot their artillery. One of them's already managed to die. But if we just go forward here, we'll use our armour, use our hit points, we can spot up the enemy team, we take the pressure off our team that's on the ridge line, they can then get up to the ridge line, because everybody starts to focus on my tank at this point, not surprisingly. So our team can get up onto the ridge line, they can start getting the shots in, and it's actually a push play that very much contributes and probably does lead to the victory in this battle. But you know, I'm hell-bent. You know what, I've been artillery focused for the last minute. I've decided, you know what, that artillery is dying. I am not caring about anybody else. We've actually taken out a couple of enemy tanks in the process of driving forward, but yeah, I'm just focused on the enemy artillery. He's done my head in. I hate artillery. Everybody that watches the live streams knows I hate artillery. The STG takes a shot there. I know he's got a fairly long reload, so I know I can just drive up over the hill and get some shots on this little scumbag here. It's a French, I think it's got a, what's the word I'm looking for? Anyway, it's a scumbag, that's what it is. And eventually we do get the kill shot in the artillery before we die ourselves. But that push play, look at the balance of teams now. They've lost their artillery, they've got 7 tanks left, we've got 7 tanks plus 2 artillery left. And it was the push play, I reckon, that very much won this battle. Did cost us our life, but absolutely worth it to take that little piggy out. And certainly, having been focused by it for the entirety of the battle, it was a very satisfying kill. And yeah, I think it was the push play that definitely contributed heavily to our team winning this battle. As I said, maybe not a tactic I would recommend, but it's definitely something to consider on Prokhorovka if you've got a heavily armoured tank. So there was the victory. We don't even get into the podium. I think we actually finish in 5th place on this one, although I would say that possibly we were the deciding factor in this one. But yeah, that's going to be it, folks. There's the kind of the thought processes that I use in these battles that helps me to get a pretty decent win rate. Hopefully it's been useful for you in some way, shape or form. Thank you for watching. Catch you on the next one. Goodbye now.